When you wake up in the morning, before you even touch your phone, before you let the world rush into your head, you need to give your mind direction. You need to train your brain to focus on what matters, because the way you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day. And I'm going to tell you something most people never understand. Your thoughts are the steering wheel of your life. If you wake up thinking about problems, you'll attract more problems. If you wake up thinking about possibilities, you'll create more opportunities. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. What you say to yourself rewires your brain. So I want you to say these 11 phrases every single morning because they will reprogram your focus, your energy, and your mindset. The first thing I want you to say is, I am in control of my day. Because let's be honest, most of us wake up and immediately feel behind. You grab your phone, you check your notifications, and instantly, your brain reacts. You're not driving, you're being driven. But when you remind yourself that you are in control, you take back your power. This sets an intention. Today is not happening to you. Today is happening for you. Then say this, I am grateful for this moment. I know it sounds simple, but gratitude is one of the fastest ways to shift your emotional state. When you practice gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that make you feel good. And when you start your day in that state, you think clearer, you make better decisions, and you attract better energy. Now, say this with conviction, I am stronger than my excuses. Because let's be real, your excuses are louder in the morning. I'm too tired. I'll start tomorrow. I don't have time. But the truth is, your excuses are stealing your potential. You are capable of more than you believe, but only if you decide to show up for yourself. The next one is powerful. I choose to focus on what I can control. Life throws unexpected challenges at you every single day. But most of the stress you feel comes from obsessing over things you can't change. You can't control other people. You can't control the past. But you can control your actions, your effort, and your attitude. That's where your power lies. Say this next, I am becoming the person I want to be. You are not who you were yesterday, and you don't have to stay stuck in old habits, old patterns, or old stories. Every single morning you have a chance to create a new version of yourself, one decision, one choice, one action at a time. Now, I attract opportunities and growth. This isn't about sitting around and waiting for good things to fall into your lap. This is about training your mind to look for possibilities instead of problems. When you tell yourself you attract opportunities, your brain starts scanning for them. Suddenly, doors you never noticed before begin to open. Say this with energy. I release what I can't control. Stop carrying around the weight of yesterday's mistakes, other people's opinions, and situations that are out of your hands. Let it go. That mental baggage is slowing you down. The lighter your mind, the faster you can move toward your goals. Then say, I am worthy of success and happiness. So many of us sabotage ourselves because deep down we don't feel like we deserve better. But you do. You are worthy right now, as you are, not when you lose 10 pounds, not when you land the job, not when someone else validates you. Worthiness is an inside job. Another phrase, I am consistent, and I keep my promises to myself. Success is not built on motivation, it's built on discipline. You cannot create a new life if you keep breaking the promises you make to yourself. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're proving to your brain that you can trust yourself, and that is where real confidence comes from. Next, I choose courage over comfort. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Every time you lean into discomfort, you expand what's possible for you. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncertain. But everything you want, the success, the freedom, the confidence, it all lives on the other side of fear. Finally, say this, today I win. That doesn't mean you'll have a perfect day. It doesn't mean everything will go smoothly. It means no matter what happens, you decide that today will be a step forward. You'll learn, you'll grow, you'll make progress. And that right there is winning. If you repeat these 11 phrases every single morning, you will rewire your brain for clarity, confidence, and unstoppable momentum. The way you talk to yourself is either holding you back or propelling you forward. And starting today, you get to decide which one it will be. Your entire life is being shaped by the conversations you're having with yourself, whether you realize it or not. The words you choose every single morning aren't just sounds. They're commands to your brain, instructions for your emotions, and triggers for your actions. Most people wake up and let their thoughts run wild, starting the day in chaos. They grab their phone, scroll, compare their lives to others, and instantly feel behind. And then they wonder why their day feels out of control. But here's the truth. You have the power to change that starting tomorrow morning. Your brain is like software, and the phrases you repeat are like programming commands. If you start your morning saying things like, I can't handle this, I'm tired, or nothing ever works out for me, you're literally teaching your brain to expect failure, exhaustion, And disappointment, it's not just mindset fluff. This is neuroscience. Your thoughts trigger emotions, drive actions. So if your thoughts are negative, your emotions spiral and your actions follow right behind. But if you flip the script, if you consciously choose empowering phrases, you're giving your mind a new set of instructions to follow. I want you to think about this. Every morning, your brain is in a highly programmable state. Scientists call it the theta state. It's that moment right after you wake up when your subconscious mind is wide open. This is why those first few minutes after you open your eyes are so critical. If you grab your phone and fill your mind with stress, drama, and comparison, you're programming your day for anxiety and distraction. But if instead you feed your brain the right words, if you plant powerful thoughts, you'll set yourself up for focus, clarity, and confidence. Saying positive, intentional phrases each morning isn't about fake positivity. It's not pretending everything's perfect when it's not. It's about giving your brain a map, telling yourself where you want to go instead of letting fear and self-doubt drive. For example, starting your day with phrases like, I am in control of my emotions. I am capable of handling anything that comes my way. I choose to focus on what I can control. These aren't just words, they're reminders. They pull you back into your power and set the tone for the decisions you'll make. Because here's what happens when you don't do this. Your environment programs you instead. Other people's negativity, social media noise, news headlines, and random chaos take over your mindset before you've even had breakfast. And if you don't take control of your thoughts, they'll control you. The difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling empowered isn't the situation. It's the conversation you're having with yourself. You have to understand this. Your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you say you're not enough, your brain will look for evidence to prove it. But if you say, I am worthy, I am strong, I can do this, your brain shifts its filtering out distractions and locking onto opportunities instead. And when you do this every morning, day after day, you're rewiring your subconscious to back you instead of sabotage you. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, and one of the fastest ways to build it is by talking to yourself differently every single morning. Most people think confidence comes after success, but it's the opposite. Success comes after confidence. And confidence comes from what you tell yourself consistently. Affirmations aren't just feel-good statements. They're tools to reprogram your brain, to shift your focus from what's holding you back to what's possible for you. Here's the truth your mind believes, whatever you repeat often enough. That's why when you constantly think, I'm not good enough, or I can't handle this, your brain looks for evidence to prove you right. That's how self-doubt gets stronger and stronger. But the moment you flip that script, the moment you start telling yourself something different, you change the way your brain operates. You literally start rewiring the pathways that control your decisions, actions, and habits. When you wake up and say something powerful like, I am capable, I am resourceful, I can figure this out, you're not lying to yourself. You're training your brain to focus on solutions instead of problems. That shift in focus changes everything. Because here's what happens. When your thoughts become focused, your confidence grows. And when your confidence grows, your actions change. You start showing up differently. You take bolder steps. You stop second guessing yourself and start trusting your ability to figure things out as you go. Let me be very clear about something. Affirmations are not magic. You don't just sit there, repeat a few phrases, and expect the universe to hand you everything you want. No, that's not how this works. The real power of affirmations lies in what they do to your brain. When you choose empowering phrases every morning, you're programming your mind to expect more from yourself, to prepare for challenges instead of running from them, and to focus on what's in your control instead of spiraling over what isn't. Think about it like this. Your brain is like a GPS. If you don't enter a destination, it just wanders aimlessly. But when you put in a clear address, it locks onto that path. Affirmations are the destination. They give your brain a target, a specific focus, and suddenly you start noticing opportunities, resources, and solutions you couldn't see before. And here's something even more fascinating. Neuroscience backs this up. When you repeat strong, positive statements, you activate the reticular activating system in your brain. It filters out unnecessary noise and locks onto information that aligns with your thoughts and goals. That means the more you affirm your potential, the more your brain works behind the scenes to prove you right. That's why high performers, elite athletes, and world-class leaders all use affirmations. It's not hype, it's strategy. The key, though, is consistency. You can't just say these phrases once and expect your life to change. You need to repeat them daily until they become second nature. At first, it'll feel uncomfortable, maybe even silly, but that discomfort is a sign that you're breaking out of your old patterns. Over time, those words become your truth, and you'll notice a shift in how you carry yourself, how you handle challenges, and how you pursue your goals. Energy follows intention, and this isn't just some motivational phrase. It's a principle that shapes every single part of your life. Every morning, the way you choose to set your intentions decides how your day unfolds. Most people wake up and instantly hand their energy over to things that don't matter. They grab their phone, scroll through other people's lives, get frustrated by the news, compare themselves to strangers on social media, and before they even get out of bed, their mind is already scattered. Their energy is leaking everywhere, and they don't even realize it. But here's the truth: your energy goes wherever your attention goes. And if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing where you focus first thing in the morning. When you wake up and intentionally choose your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, you take control of the entire trajectory of your day. That's what those morning phrases are really about. They're not just words. They're a declaration of your focus, a reminder of what matters, and a way to channel your energy where it serves you best. Let me give you an example. If you wake up and say, "I choose peace over chaos today," something shifts. That one simple phrase plants a seed in your mind. Throughout the day, when things get stressful, instead of reacting on autopilot, you remember your intention. You handle situations differently because you've already told your brain what to prioritize. That's the power of setting intentions. They give your mind a filter. Your brain is wired to focus on what you tell it to focus on. If your first thoughts in the morning are, "I'm overwhelmed, I'm behind, I'm tired," guess what? You're going to carry that energy everywhere. But if you choose to start your day with phrases like, "I am capable," "I am in control of my thoughts," "I have what it takes," your brain starts scanning for ways to make those statements true. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. This is where most people get it wrong. They think their energy depends on their circumstances. They believe they'll feel motivated when things are going well, or calm when life is easy. But it's the opposite. Your energy creates your circumstances. If you wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect day, you're going to keep waiting. You have to decide right now to generate the energy you need for the life you want. And this isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about understanding that you always have a choice in how you respond. That choice, the way you decide to think, speak, and act, is what determines where your energy flows. If you focus on problems, your energy drains into them. If you focus on solutions, your energy fuels progress. If you focus on gratitude, your energy multiplies. One of the most powerful things you can do every morning is pair your phrases with intentional breathing and visualization. Say your affirmations out loud, take a deep breath, and visualize yourself living them. If you say, "I am confident, unstoppable," picture yourself walking into that meeting with your head held high. If you say, "I choose calm over chaos," imagine yourself staying grounded when someone tries to provoke you. Your mind doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something real, which means you can program it before the day even begins. The point is simple. When you wake up and set your intention, your energy aligns with it. And when your energy aligns with your goals, your actions naturally follow. You stop wasting time on distractions. You stop reacting to negativity, and you stop letting other people control how you feel. You start living on purpose instead of on autopilot. Daily repetition creates transformation, and I want you to really let that sink in, because most people underestimate the power of showing up every single day and doing small, intentional things consistently. They think change comes from one big, life-altering moment, some dramatic breakthrough, a huge achievement, or a sudden stroke of luck, but that's not how it works. Change doesn't happen in an instant. It happens in layers. It's built through little habits, repeated over and over again until your entire identity starts to shift. Saying these 11 phrases every morning is not about a quick fix. It's about rewiring your brain, and that takes consistency. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you walk into a gym one time and lift a few weights, nothing changes. But if you commit to showing up every day, even if it's just for 15 minutes, you'll eventually see results. The same is true for your mind. Every time you repeat a powerful phrase, you're strengthening new neural pathways, you're teaching your brain a new way to think, a new way to focus, a new way to react. This is why most people fail when they try to change their lives. They quit too soon. They expect results overnight, and when they don't see immediate change, they decide it's not working. But here's the truth. The transformation is happening beneath the surface long before you can see it. Just because you can't measure it yet doesn't mean it isn't real. Let me explain this with science. Your brain works on a principle called neuroplasticity, which means it physically rewires itself based on what you consistently think, feel, and do. When you wake up every morning and say, "I am confident, I am focused, I am in control," you're sending signals to your brain to strengthen the networks associated with those beliefs. The first few times, It feels awkward and fake because your old programming is stronger. But as you keep going, repetition slowly weakens those old negative patterns and replaces them with new ones. Over time, you stop having to force confidence. You actually become confident. That's the magic of consistency. And here's the part people often miss. Daily repetition doesn't just change your thoughts, it changes your identity. When you wake up every day and choose phrases that align with the person you want to become, you're essentially voting for that version of yourself. Each repetition is a small, powerful act of self-leadership. You're training your brain to believe a new story about who you are and what you're capable of. And eventually that story becomes your reality. I'll be honest with you, some mornings you won't feel like doing it. You'll be tired, distracted, frustrated, and that's exactly why you need to do it. Change doesn't care about your mood. Transformation happens when you show up even on the days you don't want to. That's how you build discipline. That's how you break free from autopilot. That's how you take control of your life instead of letting life control you. Think about how many years you've spent thinking thoughts that sabotage your potential. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough. I'll never change. This is just who I am. Those patterns didn't happen overnight. They were built through years of repetition. So, of course, replacing them takes time. But the beautiful part is it's possible and it doesn't require massive effort, just small, consistent actions. When you start saying these 11 phrases every morning, you're not just motivating yourself for the day, you're slowly reshaping your entire mindset. You're training your nervous system to stay calm under pressure. You're teaching your brain to focus on solutions instead of problems. You're building self-trust one day at a time. And the more you do it, the easier it gets because repetition turns these affirmations into automatic beliefs. This is why daily repetition is non-negotiable. If you want to see real transformation, you can't dabble in it. You have to commit. You have to make it as natural as brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and debate whether or not to brush your teeth. You just do it. That's how these morning phrases need to be. They need to become part of your identity, part of your routine, part of the way you start your day. If you commit to saying them every single morning for the next 30 days, you'll feel the shift. At first, it'll be subtle. You'll notice yourself handling stress differently, staying calmer in situations that used to trigger you. Then you'll start seeing external results, better decisions, better focus, better energy. And eventually, one day, you'll look back and realize you're not the same person you were when you started. That's the power of repetition. Your words are shaping your reality. Whether you realize it or not, every single thing you say to yourself, every thought you repeat, every belief you reinforce, every phrase you choose to hold on to becomes the foundation of how you see yourself, how you act, and ultimately how your life turns out. Your brain listens to your voice differently than it listens to anyone else's. Neuroscientists have proven that when you say something out loud, your brain processes it as a direct command, a personal instruction. That's why athletes shout affirmations before competing, why leaders rehearse powerful statements before big presentations, and why people who are intentional with their words often end up creating results others only dream about. But here's the thing, most people are already using this principle, just in the wrong direction. They wake up and immediately start talking themselves down without even realizing it. I'm so tired. I'm so behind, nothing ever works out for me, I'll never be good enough, and they repeat these phrases so often that their brain treats them like instructions, locking them into the same patterns day after day. This is why the 11 morning phrases matter so much. They're not just motivational lines, they're psychological tools. They disrupt old thought patterns and replace them with new intentional programming. When you say, I am calm, confident, and in control, your brain starts scanning your environment for evidence to support that belief. When you repeat, I handle challenges with clarity and strength, your nervous system prepares you to show up differently the next time something unexpected happens. And here's the part I really want you to understand. This isn't about faking it. It's about teaching your brain who you're becoming. Because the truth is, your subconscious doesn't care whether what you say is true or not. It just responds to repetition. It's not judging you. It's not arguing back. It simply accepts the story you tell it the most. And if you've been telling yourself a disempowering story for years, it's time to rewrite it. Think about this every single morning. You have a fresh opportunity to set the tone for your entire day. Before you pick up your phone, before you scroll social media, before you drown yourself in other people's opinions and chaos, you get to decide what energy you're stepping into. That's the power of speaking these phrases out loud. You're choosing your state before the world tries to choose it for you. Consistency is what makes this work. Saying something once won't change your life, but saying it every single day, even on the mornings when you don't feel it, especially on the mornings when you don't feel it, That's what rewires your identity. It's in those moments when you feel stuck, tired, or doubtful that your words matter the most. Because your brain is listening, and the more you repeat empowering phrases, the more you create a new baseline for who you are and how you show up. There will be resistance at first. You'll feel silly talking to yourself